Hey guys, Steve Welch here, Beaman Toyota in downtown Nashville. Um, just kind of weathering the storm, I guess you could say. Beautiful day out here, of course. It's Sunday. It's what is it, like the 5th of April, something like that. Definitely, you can feel the weather changing, things getting better when it comes to how everything feels, of course. Now, when it comes to obviously the virus and stuff like that everybody knows about. It's who knows what's going to happen, but I mean, everybody's asking, hey, should I buy a car, should I not buy a car? I mean, that's each person individually needs to answer that question for themselves. It's not something that anybody but you and your family can actually answer for you. So my thoughts that I wanted to add today were what's going to happen after the pandemic, after everything's done. What's going to happen with the car industry and buying cars? Now, I have several thoughts on this, and I'm just going to this is just a conversation between me and you. You know, we're one-on-one here, you know, and several million YouTubers, of course. But the question is what's going to happen next month, the month after that? So realize that nobody knows when the pandemic's going to be over, but at some point it's going to be over. There's no doubt that at some point things are going to return to normal. So if that's the case and things return to normal at some point, might be a month, might be 2 months, 3 months, who knows when, you've got, and I don't care which manufacturer you're talking about, you've got all these different manufacturers that have closed down their manufacturing plants. I know Toyota has, I believe Chevy, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge. I mean, I know GM's building those ventilators. So, I mean, stuff like that. They're all closed. So, and keep in mind, it took them a while to ramp up to build stuff like that. And you know, anytime that you shut down a facility, it's going to take you a bit to open it back up. So, that being said, my question would be, what's going to happen after everything's back to normal? After they're like, hey, everybody can go back to work, everything's good now, or there's a vaccine or even a treatment or whatever they come up with. I know that there's a lot of people that are smarter than I am that are working on figuring out a solution to the issue. So, and like I said, these are just my thoughts, of course, but I kind of started to think, I mean, obviously I'm in this industry, so selling cars, you tend to think in the mindset of, well, what happens to my business? What happens to what I do for a living? And you can see I'm walking around down here this is our new car inventory. We got plenty of inventory right now, but my thought was, you got all these plants shut down. What's going to happen in, let's say that May 1st, let's just use a number. Let's say May 1st, everything's back to normal. President orders everybody back to work. Everything's back to normal. No issues or minimal issues. Hospitals are doing fine. People are doing good. It looks like we're over the hump, as they say, or over the peak, and everybody can go back to work. Which, keep in mind, we're considered essential. So being in, selling cars, servicing cars are considered essential. So we still have to be here. But let's, like I said, let's go back to, let's say it's May 1st and everybody can go back to work. The plants, it's going to take them a little bit to fire back up. And then you've got the truck drivers that maybe they've been hauling goods. Maybe they're bringing stuff to Florida, bringing stuff to to wherever they're bringing it to, from wherever they're bringing it from. Let's, and thank you. If you're a trucker, dude, love you guys. Thank you so much, because doctors, nurses, truckers, you guys are probably some of the most, and in my opinion, the most important people right now, along with our military and obviously our police, fire and stuff. But man, I definitely appreciate you guys, you truckers, more than you can possibly know, and not too many people are saying that. So thank you guys for what you guys are doing. You're keeping us supplied with all this panic that people are doing with the panic buying. So anyway, so back to kind of what I was saying, not to get off on a rant, but I needed to thank you guys. But so let's go back to what I was saying. So if you have these manufacturers, let's say that, all right, they can start producing cars again a week after everybody's back. Let's just say, because they got to get tooled back up, they got to get ready back up, they got to get their people back in, they've got to, probably do cleaning and other stuff like that, just to make sure that that everything's good. So let's say best case scenario, it's a week. So after the first week of May, now everything starts to ramp back up. They get some truck drivers to start moving some vehicles again. They, maybe they've got stuff on the ground that they haven't moved, whatever. What happens is that, in my opinion, what's going to be happening, you have March, April, and if it's past May, all these people that wanted to buy a vehicle, that needed to buy a vehicle. I know in Nashville, we had this tornado, and we should have had a pretty huge spike off the tornado, which we did have a spike, but it wasn't near what you would have thought from the tornado. So you got still people waiting on insurance checks and stuff like that just from the tornado on top of this pandemic. So after the factories come back online, and after they start pushing cars out, and you've got all these people with this pent-up demand that start going out and buying cars, what's going to happen, and you guys can mark my words on this, what's going to happen is your supply is going to go down very, very fast. Now, it all depends, like I said, of what the manufacturers can do and how fast they can ramp back up. But I'll tell you, we've got an auxiliary lot that normally by the end of March is overflowing with cars. I mean, we can put 600 cars on that lot. Normally it's overflowing. It's about half full right now. And that's, I mean, I know that this is part of it. Are we not selling as many cars as we usually would? True. We're not selling near as many cars as we usually would, but the thought that I have is, okay, so if it takes them a while to get ramped up, takes them a while to get transported, and we have all this pent-up demand, so everybody that would have bought in March, that would have bought in April, and that's going to buy anyway in May, if we started back May 1st, you're going to have issues with getting the car you want, getting the color you want, of the trim level that you want, of the brand even that you want. And that's just thinking about new cars. Well, what about used cars? Well, you're going to run into the same thing in used cars, because where does predominantly most of your used car inventory come from? Trade-ins off of new cars. So if you don't have trade-ins off of new cars, and you don't have new cars to sell, it's going to be a effect to where you're not going to be able to get either the used car you want or the new car that you want. And you're going to, I don't want to have to say settle, because I mean, if you get a gray Highlander instead of a silver one, does that really mean you're settling? No, you might like them both just the same. But maybe now, instead of buying in May, well, now you're going to have to buy in July when you had every want to buy in May. So my point is that it might be better to try to get your hands on a vehicle now. And keep in mind, that's self-serving too. I understand. I know that'll be in the comments that I'm just trying to get people to buy a car now. It's true. But the thing is, it's going to benefit you better. Why? Because you're going to have the better selection and the better deals. Because once your demand rises and the availability of product drops, which is called supply and demand, your deals aren't going to be there. Because think about it. I mean, here, let's look. I got RAV4s, right? I got a whole line of RAV4s right here. All right. I've got more in another spot that's actually over that way. All right. I've got more in my other lot. So I've probably got 60 RAV4s, let's just say. Maybe a couple more, but let's just say I got 60 RAV4s. All right. They're not building anymore right now. The plant stopped. All right. So if you wanted a RAV4 hybrid, I got RAV4 hybrids. If you wanted a RAV4 now, when do you think you're going to get the best selection? It's going to be now, unless you waited until long after the plants come back up. Highlanders. I don't have as near as many of the Highlanders. I probably only have 20 Highlanders, right? But we're the largest store in this area when it comes to volume. So if that's what I've got, what about a store that, that doesn't normally stock 1,200 cars? What about a store that normally stocks 50? Which there's some of those out there, the 50, the 60, the 70 cars. Well, they're still selling, a few. They're not selling a lot. Let's say they're selling, let's say they're selling 10 cars a week. Well, you got 6 weeks of inventory. So realistically, if they can't get resupplied and resupplied fast, your selection, you're going to be driving around trying to find the right car. You're going to be having issues and don't get me wrong, we can locate cars, stuff like that. But if you have a company that wants to locate a car from somebody when they know that they have customers that'll buy that car too, the answer could be no. So you never know exactly what you're going to get, where you're going to get it. So my whole point on this is know what you want. If you can buy a car, you should probably do it, or realize that you might have to wait a little bit to actually be able to do it after everything ramps up if you're looking for something particular. Now, if you just said, I want a RAV4, I don't care what color it is, I need a couple things on there, I want to have, all-wheel drive or something like that, and you're just asking for a RAV4, yeah, I'm probably going to be able to take care of you, find you something that'll work, that you'll like the color on and stuff like that. But if you're saying, I want a white one, I want black interior, I want to have all-wheel drive, I want to have a blind spot monitor, I want to have the digital rearview mirror, and you start to say what you want, man, you're just going to have issues trying to find that exact car, or it's going to be several months down the road. Because here's the other thing, all of the allocation that these manufacturers have that are supposed to go to the stores, they should have been delivering. I mean, we get 2-3 trucks a day sometimes, and they should have been delivering vehicles. Those allocations are still there. So now you order one, you're going on the back of those allocations unless they can get a change done, or unless they already have one in allocation for you. So ordering one's going to be 6-8 months. Am I positive on that? No, but does that make sense? I think it does. So like I said, I'm just trying to think a little bit out of the box, is what's going to happen with supply of all of these vehicles when the manufacturers aren't making anymore, and what's going to happen to your availability. And here's even the bigger thing, what's going to happen to your deal? How big of a deal do you think you're going to be able to get? You think the manufacturers have a reason to put several $1,000s off on a car? I mean, to spur the economy. I understand that's an idea, but if you've got half the inventory that you normally have at this time, and you've got the same amount or more customers, putting extra rebates, extra discounts, it doesn't really make business sense to do that. Rebates and discounts are meant to spur business. If the business is already spurred and the business is already doing what it's supposed to be doing, and like I said, it's all my opinion, but man, I don't see how I could be wrong on this. You're going to have lower inventory. I mean, think about it. Like I said, all these people with the tornado damage and stuff like that, man, they're going to be buying a new car, used car. I mean, once people get into, it's going to be college time again, and you're getting kids going ready for college. And a lot of times you get those, those May, June, July, that's the prime time that people buy new and really used cars a lot of times for their college student kids that are going away to a university somewhere, and they want them to have something that is at least some kind of reliable for the time that they're gone. So like I said, I'm just kind of having a conversation with you. It's if you buy a car now, great. If you don't, chances are you're probably not in Nashville if you're watching this. So I'm not just helping myself here to try to tell you guys what I think is going to happen. I just really think that this is probably going to be what happens with the way that the industry will go. So it just kind of makes sense to me. So definitely let me know what you guys think. If you think I'm wrong, feel free, put it in the comments. I do answer every comment that I see there. So if you think I'm wrong, just let me know. I'm more than happy to be wrong. But man, supply, demand. I don't know. I kind of see something coming down the pike that maybe I'm wrong on. And I don't know. Like I said, just let me know what you think. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I just really don't think I am. But Steve Welch, Beaman Toyota, downtown Nashville. Please keep your family safe. Don't go out if you don't have to. A lot of people are heeding that. I can tell you. I can tell just by traffic that a lot of people are heeding that warning. And you can see Nashville. It's a Sunday in Nashville, and there's almost nobody on Broadway. That's downtown Nashville right there. That is downtown Broadway on Nashville, or in Nashville. So I appreciate you guys. I definitely, I hope we get through this pretty quick here, for everybody's sake. I don't think anybody wants this to last very long. So definitely take care of yourself, take care of your family. Know that, it's going to get better. It has to. It's just a matter of when. So Steve Wells, Beaman Toyota. You guys have a good day, and definitely be safe.